Hello and welcome everyone to Ananke's Women in Literature Festival. I'm absolutely thrilled to welcome my honored guest, Naveen Kishore. And just a little bit about Naveen. Naveen Kishore is a publisher, founder of Seagull Books in Kolkata, India, a theater practitioner. Naveen established Seagull Books as a response to the growing need for an Indian publishing house for theater and other arts. Among the many accolades, recognition, and awards, he received the 2021 Words Without Borders Ottaway Award for the promotion of international literature, in addition to being made, and apologies for the bad pronunciation, a Cavalier de l'Ordre des Arts et des Lettres by the government of France, and received the Goethe Medal from the Federal Republic of Germany in 2013. Last year, his immense book of poems, published by Speaking Tiger, Knotted Grief, came out, and it is followed by Mother Muse Quintet in March this year. So welcome, Naveen.
Thank you, Sabine. Thank you very much. Yes, it's interesting that my beginnings were in theater some 50 years ago, and because what I'm about to talk about, share in what I suspect is a slightly vulnerable way, in response to your launching a keynote, is actually almost a monologue, a performance piece for a single actor. And I thought we should see if a literary festival can actually have a piece of literature, perhaps as a keynote. And forgive me if you get rapped on your knuckles for doing this, but let's try. Theater and memory. To recall an event, to free it from the clutches of memory, and in remembering, to recount or describe it, is to create the possibility of drama. For in description lies the temptation, even the necessity of embellishment, of adornment, of enhancement, and, of course, of omission. What the memory chooses to conceal or fail to reveal is as inherent in the retelling of an event as is the relationship between that which is being narrated and that which is being received by the listener, viewer, the audience. Or, to put it another way, the tale being told may not be the tale being heard. And in both the telling and the hearing lies the possibility of that which is left untold, the unsaid. The unsaid, having been impregnated by mystery, carries within it the seeds of the dramatic. The narrating of the unsaid uses a language of its own, the lingua franca of subtext. A text that carries within it an entire lexicon of unseen gestures, signs that are cleverly scattered in the body of what is being said, so as to escape immediate detection. Subterfuge, or the art of building up suspense, or simply that which makes its presence felt by its apparent absence. carrying with it an entire universe of implied meaning that appeals directly to the senses. The stage is bare. The figure is lit by a backlight that is not harsh, diffused Fresnel from a source on the back bar from a higher than usual height, spraying the air with a soft shaft. Steel blue filter is the instruction from the lighting designer. Growing to brightness as she begins to speak. What is the way up? Is there a way up at all? Why? Do I want a way up? Simply because, having hit the bottom, I may want to stay on. Relish the hospitality of the dark as it takes hold of my numbness and makes it a plaything. Not my toy, its. The dark does play with itself, and I'm it. The dark does not announce its arrival. It simply arrives. One day, the straw on the camel's back finally turns heavy. Weight. It is often all about weight. I always knew that. Your sense of lightness is replaced. Perhaps permanently. Imagine yourself in a deep, even comfortable sofa. You lean back and downwards in a slow manner. Your right leg stretched in front of you, your left bent at the knee, toes losing their feeling. Right hand on chest, midway. Left elbow on the arm of the sofa. Upper body continuing to slide. Torso slowly veering leftward. Now. It is now that it changes from motion towards relaxation to heaviness of the weariest kind. The body cannot resist the will of the mind. The mind, defeated, exhausted, giving up without a fight, or simply giving up, refusing to act, acknowledge, lift itself up, ward off the dark that the weariness is soon going to have to invite. Like having your nose rubbed in the mud, heavy and dark, a thing of paralysis, almost beautiful in its design, seductive, inviting. Let life go by. Let the cursor blink itself out and let the candle burn to death. Pool of uncontrolled wax at my feet. Like your cum, jaundiced and sticky. And the wind. Die down, lie down. To punctuate is to resist. The lets are all wrong. A choice denied cannot let. Surely all is slurred like the night of forced revelry which the morning after brings into haziness. Waking up or sleeping, all the same really. Left hand, right hand, cannot tell no longer the difference. The eyelids, leaden in their effort, and the body, shoulders hurt. Yes, I know this, but can feel no pain. too weighed down for pain or hurt. The forefinger sinks into the left arm. A quicksanded descent disappears into the bottomless bottom of the sea. How the body aches and spreads its poison. The cages where the ribs reside are so brittle with stored knowledge, hugging my chest and rocking backwards and forward. Nothing. The sensation or its lack continues unabated. Soon, it will be impossible to think, to write, mustn't give up the right to write, to think, thoughts without which there is no hope, no movement, nor escape, clench, unclench, fingers that once responded to the crackle of knuckles, legs, thighs that are rubbed in feverish hope, palms of hands, unfeeling and numb in their rotary rubbing of the thighs, through black jeans, round and round, forward and downward, upwards and back. The warmth of the flesh, cold, cadaver-like, chilly, like the frost on the carelessly thrown leg and arm and torso of the misshapen body that I am forced to acknowledge as mine. How long has it been since I started to think? How long does the average dream take to play itself out? How many coats must the tongue bear before it turns bitter? The acid in the stomach crept in with the finest of rites, chilled to perfection, washing down the salmon fish cakes with its dry laughter, bubbling up to the brim as you sipped. The rim of the glass leaving behind that taste of lipstick you enjoyed licking. Lick, 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 the tongue that gave you joy then. The very tongue now, Judas-like, chalky and white. Count the hemoglobin. Suck till it bleeds. Then suck some more. The fist that skins the knuckles and peels the skin off your cheeks and nose and mouths and lips. The hand that recoils at the hitting. What is it about afterwards that increases the feeling of queasiness? To vomit is to find relief from the nausea. Are black eyes better than red ones? Hit me, hit me, hit me till it stops hurting, and then hit me some more. Take a long breath, breathe deeply. Over and over again. Don't ever forget to breathe. In and out, in and out, in. Hold, slowly. Out, repeat. It is a process. Learn to master it. Every breath counts. Extend it, extend it. And the breathing will become even. The longer the breath, the calmer you get. Soon all will be silence. The quiet before the calm. Hear it, store it for later when you need it again. But for how long? I wonder. How long does it take for love to lose its first flush? From turning stale, surely it cannot simply wear off. And yet it does. again and again, I have seen the demise of love, and yet I continue to love, even to seek it out. The graveyards are full and they're beginning to bury the dead in three-tier formations, like catching a train, sandwiched between the loved one and the loved one. The persistence of the metal on metal rocks you to sleep. Love is dead, long live love. Love is dead, long live love. Love is dead, long live love. I woke up next to a love long dead. Words like mourners at a bereavement, inconsolable, devastated and stricken with grief, wearing the garb of deep and profound sorrow, intense emotion writ large upon their countenance. What do I see? I see limbs. Often these limbs give the appearance of being sawed off from their torsos neatly, for I do not see blood. Sometimes I see them belonging to bodies. I see bodies or torsos abandoned by limbs. I see arms and legs and hands and feet in a mass grave of intertwined overlaps. I see limbs coiled around dark pieces of furniture. I see them turning corners of rooms in empty houses. Some of them appear to have climbed out of bathtubs. Others are resting on commodes. I see them attempting to unwrap themselves from the traps of fabric which binds them. There are some that have succeeded in hiding in a large, forbidding closet, and one that has been packed away in a large trunk. I see them washing off the mud and the grease on their hands and arms and legs and feet. I see them soaping each other. I see them wet, oily, burnt to a cinder and spray painted, wrapped in plastic, peering from behind drapes, behind shower consoles, in kitchens, on cycles, and from under dining tables. There are those that are climbing down drain pipes and a few making their way up aluminium ladders. I see dancing limbs and limbs on treadmills. I see them under cars and dangling from parapets outside my window. I see them watching me from behind keyholes. There are some that are squatting behind a bush while others climb a tree. I see them in bed, sometimes with others, but mostly alone. If only the brain would fail to imagine, the brain dead, dead, incapable of imagining. Imagine a failure of the brain, now dead. A failed brain imagining itself into a state of mortification, of rigor mortis set in well before, much before the imagination proclaimed the brain dead. The dead brain now imagined in death of brain, of mind, of all that the mind can imagine. What comes after? After what? The before. Question, What came before the aftermath? Or did it happen the other way around? First the aftermath, then the question, dare I ask? Who will answer? And why? Yes, why? 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 All that matters is the failure of the imagination to declare itself dead. Mind game. Play it again and again. Keep from losing the other game, that which involves breathing deep, slow, slower, deeper, even slower, even deeper. Hold, in, out, sleep, no, scream. Scream so you can feel the blood rush into the brain. Imagine the flicker. See it, see it, see it. Open the eyes of the brain. Look into them, the eyes. See them. Imagine a flicker of anything, even of itself, of life, however bloodied. Despair, respond, breathe the brain, throbbing inside the pain, inside the desire. Somewhere there is desire, still thought. Think thoughts, anybody's, doesn't matter whose. Think so you can breathe life into the imagination. And remember, again, once again, still there is life. Still. Remember so you can recall and tell who. Will you listen? Will I listen? Will I tell so you can listen and tell all who will listen and remember how it was so that it will never be, not ever be, never again. No, never, 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 never again. The image I have is of a deserted whiteness, desolate, uninhabited. The sheet of paper stretches into the twilight, barren, solitary, introverted, hermit-like in its desire for seclusion, companionless, unfrequented, except perhaps by thought. It is not true that you wanted him to come back. Yes. Why? I don't know. Just wanted back. Wanted him to come back to you? I suppose so. Suppose. Yes, I wanted him back. And he came back to me. Yes, he came back to me. She lies on the edge. The S that broke free of the alphabet in a black nylon sheet. Her head over the rim of the stage. We see her face and head and hair and eyes and nose and mouth and lips upside down, unblinking. The audience sits so close, she could spit on them. Woke up one morning and dreamt a dream. I had turned into a box, cardboard, I recall, squarish with a separate lid, plain, sturdy, dark brown affair on the outside, gold leaf on midnight blue on the inside. The lid was another matter. The top of the box and the four narrow sides were blue leaf on gold, and the inside was a plain midnight blue. Clearly, the fate that awaited me was a gift-wrapped one. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Naveen. This was so beautiful. Coming from, I know, and it touched, it touched my soul because it comes from a place of vulnerability. So thank you so much for that. That's it for us. Thank you everyone for watching. And I know that, the reaction, the feeling, or what I'm feeling right now is something you all must be feeling. That's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabine. Thank you, everybody.